Hello and welcome to another session in English language, and today our focus is on different aspects of English. First, we'll be focusing on vocabulary development. We're going to be looking at registers, words associated with human parts, and thereafter we'll look at speech work, another aspect of English which is very important. We'll look at consonant clusters, and lastly we'll now look at writing. We're going to look at something on expository writing or expository essay. But before all of that, let us review the previous lesson. Welcome back. So like I said, today we are going to be learning something very interesting. We're going to look at the first aspect, which is vocabulary development, and under that we're going to look at register and words associated with the human part. So I will need you to follow closely this session. Okay, I need you to follow closely this session. Right, so let's begin with the skin. So when we say the skin, you have human skin. Okay, so the skin is the organ that covers your entire body. Okay, the skin protects delicate organs. Okay, protects delicate organs in the body. Protects delicate organs in the body. So the only reason why you have a covering, so the skin is like a covering. Okay, covers your bones. Covers your bones. So the only reason why we don't see your bones is because you have the skin, right? You have ears. The ears are organs that are used to perceive sounds. Okay, use them to pick up what you call sound waves. Okay, the eyes are organs used for what? Seeing. Okay, seeing or sight. Okay. Then we have also your nose. Your nose is the organ you use to pick up what? Smell. Okay, used to pick up smell. And or you used to pick up what we call an aroma. Okay, smell can be offensive, and aroma can be a lovely smell. Okay, then we have your mouth. Your mouth contains your teeth, your tongue. Okay, so we can say that basically chewing and swallowing of food happens where? In your mouth. Okay, where you have to manipulate food substances. Then we have your lungs. Your lungs are used for respiration majorly and gaseous exchange. Okay, and you have two lungs. Okay, one to the left and to the right. Okay, then you have your kidney. Okay, and your kidney basically is where your urine is actually produced. Okay, your urine is actually produced where you have to urinate. Okay, and pass out excess, excreta of waste from your human body. And kidney failure can actually, be very, very disastrous. Okay, so and we have two kidneys actually. Then we have the spleen. We have your heart. Yes, which is a very fundamental part, because the heart is responsible for pumping of what? Blood. It is responsible for pumping of blood. And we have your human brain, and it's responsible for yours. It's the center of reasoning and intelligence. So your thinking capacity is a function of your brain. And we have your esophagus that connects your mouth to your stomach. So after chewing your food, it goes through a system, a piping system. Okay, that connects, and that's your esophagus. Okay, so let's move to the next aspect of English, which is the cluster of 2, 3, and 4 consonants. So we want to focus on consonant clusters. What are clusters? Clusters simply means a sequence of sound units formed together. Okay, a sequence of sound units formed together. So I could say a cluster is a sequence of sound units formed. Cluster is a sequence of sound units formed together. Sequence sequence of sound units formed together. Alright, so let's follow closely what a consonant cluster is. So we said a consonant cluster is the sequence of two or more consonant sounds without an intervening vowel. That's what the consonant cluster is. That we can have clusters of consonants without an intervening vowel sound. Okay, so now it could occur at the beginning. Please take note of this thing. It's very important. At the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of a word. So it could, now that is most times initial position has to do with what? Beginning. In speech work we use initial, beginning, we use medial. Okay, that's middle, and we have final, which is what? Your end. Okay, so let's look at those examples. So we have smile, L at the initial, so you can see there is a cluster of smile. So before we have an intervening, which is E, alright, or I, which in the case of let me use it in the context of speech work, I. Okay, before we had that, we have a cluster smile. Okay, if I'm to transcribe that, this is what you have. Smile. Okay, so you can see the cluster there. Smile. We have bland at the initial position. Bland. We have dwell. We have play. We have plate. Okay, that at the medial position we have plantain. Plantain. Okay, we have plastic. Okay, we have okra. Right? We have offset. Offset. Then we have condemn. Condemn, a nasal and d. Right? Then we have at the final position we have cast, band, king. Oh, we have there's ing. Then we have dogs. Then we have books. Okay, cluster here and here. Dogs. We have this. Right? So we have different endings here. So we have scroll, sprains, and I gave a couple of examples here. Then we could also have them at four consonants like constrain, strain. Okay, we have that on that. We have construction. Okay, we have demonstrate. Okay, and the examples are inexhaustive. Okay, we have communicate. Now you see that there's a cluster here. Okay, there's a cluster here. Q, there's a cluster here. We have music, there's a cluster here. Duty, there's a cluster before the intervening vowel. We have here. Okay, we have queen. We have question. Right? So I believe you understood that. So let's focus on the other part of writing, which is expository essay. And simply take note, exposition is detailed explanation. Exposition is detailed explanation. Okay, so that's what expository essay is all about. We are given, it's a process of trying to explain a process, explain an idea or feeling. Okay, so when you are trying to explain an idea, explain a process, explain a feeling, you are writing an expository essay. So, and it demands that you should, be very good at this. Okay, because you must know the subject matter very well. You must be able to describe the process. You must be able to give a narration of how things actually work. So, exposition, or what you call expository essay, combines narration, combines description with what explanation, illustration, and what sometimes arguments. Okay, so, and take notes, all expository essays must have a heading. You must put a heading to your essay, what you're writing on. What are you explaining? What are you giving narration about? What process? What idea? Okay, then also it must have what you call the introductory paragraph. Okay, then I taught you also that your paragraphs must be sequenced. Okay, they must be sequenced. Okay, that means that you should be able to logically arrange your ideas such that there is a connection that also arouses the interest of your reader. Then also there must be a concluding paragraph, okay, when writing an essay. Okay, and please, minimum in your body of contents, we need at least 3 well-developed paragraphs. Okay, then lastly, your tenses used in exposition is not past tense, most times or often present tense, not past tense. Remember, you are describing or you are narrating or explaining, so tense should please most times be present tense. So we give a sample question here and an outline. There has been an explosion in Gambia, and so in an article for publication, identify the major causes of explosion in population and suggestions to manage the explosion. So first, your heading should read explosion in Gambia's population. Explosion in Gambia's population. Okay, then next will be your definition. What do you know about population explosion? Then your second paragraph, which is don't forget, the introductory paragraph, is what do you know about population explosion? So you explain that. Then paragraph 2, you have to tell us the major causes of population explosion. Okay, so your knowledge in economics will play out here. Then you have to tell us the other causes. The major cause, it could be increase in birth rate, or increase in birth rate. Okay, so there are other factors that play out. There could be decrease in death rate. There could be increase in marriages, and likes. Right, then also we have effects of explosion on the population. Okay, so what happens when we have such increase in the number of people? Then what are your suggestions on how to manage that? Then you conclude. I believe we've come to the end of our lesson today, and I'm so sure and confident you learned something today. In order for you to recall and refresh your memory, I would encourage and love that you take the test that appears on your screen.